One.
Goofballs, a podcast about football, where every week we talk seriously about football and we goof around about everything else. If you're looking for an exception, you won't find one this week. That's what we're going to do. And we have a full week of NFL football to talk about finally. It's the first chance that we have a chance to talk about Andrew Chance Grace about football, because he has yet to be a part of a regular season week here on Goofballs. So that's an exciting event to share and celebrate. But before I get to Andrew, I have to get to my other co-host, Johnny Schwartzbein. Are Eagles fan?
Yeah, a little bit. What a choke job those Eagles did this week. Very, very disappointed in losing to the Washington football team. But happy to see that besides Washington, the rest of the NFC East, I joke and say that often, the rest of the NFC East is just as bad as the Eagles, except Washington.
Yeah. Is there any punch up we can do to the NFC East?
When they're good, I call them the NFC Beast. So those all rhyme with the word East, which is the real name of the division.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if we can figure something out by the end of the show. And speaking of the end of the show, I would be remiss not to mention the man who was Showtime on Monday night, Daniel Jones, quarterback of the New York Giants. Isn't that right, Andrew Grace?
Yeah, look, Jones looked good, but he's got to keep his composure in the red zone. He can't be throwing away the ball. And unfortunately, we don't seem to have that great of an offensive line because Saquon Barkley did his best. But first, you're going to make the first person miss, but it's not good when it's 2 yards deep in the backfield. So,
Andrew, do you know how underwhelming of an offensive line you have to only get Saquon Barkley 6 yards rushing?
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
For a whole game, I thought he was injured. Maybe he only played like 2 snaps. No, that was a whole game, 6 yards.
Yeah. It wasn't great, but you never know. These guys could have just. You never know, man. It's a weird time right now. They could have just been. They weren't totally locked into the protections and blocking schemes. It's confusing. Football's confusing. So give them another week to get that playbook in the head, and who knows? You just never know. It's week 1.
Attaboy. That's the spirit. Good fan.
It sounds confusing. Well, to be honest, I didn't watch the Giants game. I was captured in by the new Charlie Kaufman movie on Netflix, so I decided to watch that instead, and it was pretty good.
I started it, but then I decided to end it.
Okay, you're thinking of ending things?
Yeah.
Did you start it?
No, that was a joke. It seems scary and dark and sad, and that's not the kind of movie I want to watch right now.
Well, understandable. Speaking of right now I'm going to introduce our guest this week. She is also an Eagles fan, or question mark, let's find out. Leah Knauer, is that correct?
Hey, yes, that's correct.
Okay, great.
I'm in the middle of watching the This Is Paris documentary, so I'm
yes,
excited to be talking about sports.
This is a documentary.
Brain switch.
This is a documentary that's going around. I just heard about this yesterday, but this is something that people are watching. Is that correct?
It's really good. It's heavy and personally relatable, so it's extra heavy, but it's really good. But yeah, I am following Eagles, and I'm just as proud as I usually am.
Which is semi.
Right. But I love talking shit, which is why I was glad Johnny asked me to be here.
Fantastic. I mean, what do you like to talk shit about? Anything specifically you like to talk shit about?
I'm from Philly. That's just what we do. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun to joke around and rib people and tell them they suck.
I mean,
isn't that why people like sports?
To tell others that they suck? That's a fair.
And to have a certain amount of pride in like your city, it's all ego. You ask
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Half of my fandom
Ego.
is just hating the Cowboys.
That works
It's true.
Yeah.
How did you feel about that, Johnny? The Cowboys lost to the Rams.
It saved my weekend, Kenneth.
too.
Just watching them in a close
I
game
know.
with Dak Prescott just choking in a 2-minute drill. I lit up. I lit up. I literally lit a celebratory scented candle.
Oh man.
As just like a little almost a vigil for the start of the Cowboys season. G bless them. G bless them.
Nick Vigil is a
Love it.
linebacker, if that helps anybody.
Oh, that is good.
It's just true. It's just true.
Yeah, you know, those Cowboys, they should have gone home and baked bread, you know, because of the NFC East.
Just like everyone else in quarantine.
The NFC East.
Hey, there you
I
go.
haven't
I was
baked any.
thinking
I
about
haven't
that.
baked any bread. I made a grilled cheese though.
Is that a sexual innuendo?
No, he just raised his eyebrows.
No.
Made a grilled cheese though.
Well, you know, I did watch some football. It was a good amount of football this weekend. I don't know where I'm going with this, but
Wasn't it weird not having fans? That kept throwing me
Okay,
off.
thank you, Leah. This is a great
You're
point. This is
welcome.
totally something good to talk about because I did just tell Johnny and Andrew that I just think that it's weird to have the fake noise. But Andrew is also right. I don't want to put words in his mouth. It's like a necessary kind of evil in a way, because it's like you're doing your best to like make it work. And at the same time, to me, it's like, well, isn't this just like the canned laughter? It's like, well, you know that they're not there.
Like the sitcom of sports now.
And then we had The Office and such, and we were like, oh, this is fine.
The only thing I don't get about it though is if like you're an away team, like how loud can they turn it up on you? You know what I mean? Like, because it's not like the crowd where like there's human limitations. Like,
right?
You know, if they really wanted to, it could get kind of dangerous in there. So hopefully there's some some ground rules on this noise.
I like the piped in fan noise because it makes me it makes me feel better, like to hear, even if it's fake, hear other people excited when I'm excited for like a big play or something like that. Makes me feel less isolated. I do dislike the virtual fan thing that they're doing and the cardboard cutouts. That to me is like, that's like them trying to pretend like it's back to normal.
Well, baseball's been doing that too, and I thought it was weird at first, but now I think it's really cute and funny. So I think it's only a matter of time.
I like it when it's a teddy bear or like a cutout of a golden retriever or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't, some guys pretending to be there. There is some stadiums had like limited fans there though, right? Like I think Kansas City and Denver.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, some places you can get up to like 15 or 17,000 via spread out.
Is still a lot of people.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's 17,000 more than most places for sure. But it does feel. I mean, also, did it feel to anybody else like just different? Like it just felt like it wasn't quite the same in a way, not like to say like it felt not real in a way, but it just felt different in these circumstances.
It felt the same because I thought the Eagles were going to win and then they didn't. Did I get the question right?
Yeah.
Well, it felt different because I guess the Seahawks, they went on the road and they won very easily, and Russell Wilson went 31 of 35 with 4 touchdowns. So that was a little different.
I feel like the normalcy of it outweighed any weirdness to me. You know what I mean? Like it's still like the Lions choked, the Eagles sucked, and the Bengals should have won but didn't.
That's like a Christmas song.
Yeah, that's like the NFL's country theme song is
Yeah.
Now that the Bengals should have won, but they didn't.
Like the one
about
normal
Joe
thing in
Burrow?
2020.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Joe Burrow looked decent. He looked pretty
This
good.
is when you lose me. Names.
Joe Burrow, #1 overall draft pick this year, new franchise quarterback for the Cincinnati Bengals. Go Chili. Good chili in Cincinnati, I hear.
Great. Hey, look, I was
Leah,
a
have you been
cheerleader
to
for
the-
7 years, and I wrote for a sports game show, but like I don't know anything about sports. But when I'm watching it, I understand it completely, and I love them.
Have you been to the Midwest? Any states or cities in the Midwest?
No, not really. Chicago. Been there.
That's definitely one of the, maybe the main one.
Been there. I think that's the only one.
Yeah, I believe it's a hub for Continental Airlines.
That's the definition.
That's what Chicago's known for.
Wait, who?
They had a recent president that was around there, but I think it's
Who are your teams? Giants and Seahawks?
Seahawks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. So none of you like super hate each other. Oh wait, Giants. What the
Nah,
hell? Get
yeah.
off.
He's one of the co-hosts.
Here.
He's one of the co-hosts, Leah.
How do you guys get along? Do you
If the Giants were good, I'd be upset.
I you know what's weird is I just, even though my arch nemesis team is not even in the division, I just can't stand the Patriots. So I kind of, and I don't like Eagles fans. Like I've been to a Giants game with Eagles fans there. Like I get why Eagles fans could rub people the wrong way, but like at the same time, yeah, they like their team. I don't know. I don't have anything like.
We're passionate people.
Yeah.
That's what I always say.
Yeah.
I forgot what I was going to say when I started talking, but by the end of this sentence, I'm going to talk about the game that was created, though, prior to this. And Leah, you can. It's kind of a long-term game, so pardon me for butting in with something that the goofballs are going to do in a few weeks, really. But we are trying out something where it's we got 8 division winners, and then 6 wild card teams, and we made our picks on the predictions episode. But starting in week 4, we can lock in a pick every week of a team that we think is going to win the division, and then there will be a point system and all this and blah blah blah. So for my segment, I really just wanted to talk about week 1, which is basically what we're doing already, and just sort of in relation to our picks and the things that we thought prior to the season started, which all makes sense, right? So that's all I'm really saying. First of all,
just to be clear, do you have all of our picks up on your computer, or do I need to dig in the email and find mine? Okay, never mind.
I do have all of them up.
Good job.
But
Good job.
without even having to pull those up, Johnny, I do want to say that, you made a comment about if the Giants were good, you might be mad. Does this imply that you think the Eagles are good?
I think the Eagles are better than the Giants.
Me too. I agree.
Yeah, I think the Eagles will be 7-9. The Giants will be 5-11, probably.
Yeah. Is it going to be weird next year when they play 17 games and you have to start saying you're going to keep going like because then it's going to be like 7-10.
It's going to be crazy, and then it's like who knows what else will change? Are they going to get rid of the kickoff and then they do that 50-yard dash from each end zone, whoever gets the ball in the middle of the field first, right? The XFL
Totally
tug of
different
war.
sport.
Yeah, let's do a team like special teams tug of war instead of a coin toss. What's over?
That would be safer.
Is overtime the same this year? I don't even know.
Yeah.
Overtime is the same, I think. Leah, did you watch the Eagles game this week?
I did, and I was passionately and excitedly texting my dad, and we were like, "Go Eagles!" And then somewhere in the middle of the game, we stopped texting.
Yeah, probably after halftime.
Exactly. So it was a bummer. I was watching, but it was nice to have some sort of normalcy of just watching football.
They had like 250 yards of offense. That's bad.
It was bad.
It's bad. They don't have the top receiver. They don't have their top running back. Dummies, and then left tackle. I think they were down to Mailata, who was playing rugby like a year and a half ago and never
For
played
real?
this. Yeah, he was a rugby player. That they drafted him, and I think he never played a single down of football before they drafted him. They just liked his build and his quickness for their offensive line.
I just liked his vibe.
Yeah, he seemed cool.
It was like casting.
Yeah, let's spend our 6th round pick on this cool guy.
Yeah. Damn. Wait, what's his name? I gotta check him out.
I forgot his first name, but I think his last name is Mailata.
Okay.
Yeah. Those rugby people, though, man, like one of the rugby players going to come in, and there hasn't been one who's like really had like consistent success. There was that running back in San Fran, but the rugby is like from a like stamina standpoint so crazy.
You
like,
ever play any
even the
rugby?
linemen run. No, but like I always was interested in it, and what I love about rugby is the linemen. The big the big guys, which I was a lineman. They run the whole game, so they have to be big, but they also have to have crazy cardio. I don't know. Side thought on rugby, but
when I was in college, like one of the craziest guys I knew was a rugby player he was from Chile, and his name was also Chile, and
it's fun.
Chile from Chile.
He had one of the best threats that I've ever heard in my life, which was at like a party one night. I feel, and it wasn't like he was being serious, but he was kind of messing with a younger, like he was like a freshman or whatever. I don't know why in college you're still like messing with younger kids, but he was just it was at a party, and he just goes, "Hey, have you ever died before?" And used this very deep voice, and it was interesting.
Kenny, I have this crazy image of you as a senior just running around with Chili bullying freshmen. That was scary, dude. You scared that kid.
I did witness some bullying in college. I don't know.
No good, man. No good, dude. We gotta be better than that.
Yeah, I think
that was not serious bullying. I think that was.
Yeah, Melania has like what 50 days to really get on that anti-bullying thing.
Oh my God!
Before the planet burns down. First lady, topical political humor. So.
Yes. Yeah, just not funny. Too real.
Too real.
Oh.
They should pipe in fan noise to drown her out.
Leah, I proposed the question to Johnny.
You proposed? I'm so happy
did.
for you.
I proposed
That's so
the
exciting.
question to Johnny.
it
is exciting. I'm actually going to propose the same to you, which is.
Man, I have a boyfriend, but thank you.
Do you think that the Eagles are a good team?
We can be. We can be.
But
like we've won. We've definitely won before.
Before, yeah, no, definitely in the past.
And we won the Super Bowl like once. So
One time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have been good, and this team with this roster could be good. They just have to be healthy and make the plays do good.
Right. So, Johnny, are you keeping your pick as the Eagles, do you think, in the NFC East?
Yes. We're one game in, and yes, we did lose to someone else in our division, but the Cowboys look lackluster. The Giants don't seem to have any offensive line. Washington will be Washington eventually. So by default, I'll stick with my Eagles pick.
Yeah. Since we're on it, Andrew, all we've talked about here is the East here. You've also picked the Eagles to win the NFC East. Is that what you think you're going to probably stick with that for now?
Yeah, and honestly, I thought I was going to get a little shout out from Johnny for being unbiased, and picking the big division rival. But I just think Carson Wentz is. I think he's.
Watch it.
I know. I picked him to win the division because I haven't given up on Carson Wentz. I think I think if he puts everything together, he's going to be a really big time quarterback. And I can't count him out. And I think the Cowboys, I picked them as a wild card because I still think as far as that division goes, they're pretty close because Dak has some really amazing moments. But yeah, I think the Eagles are going to end up putting it together and winning the division.
I think if you pick the Eagles to win the division, it's tricky to pick the Cowboys to get the wild card because that means you think that the Cowboys are going to have a good enough record to make one of the 3 wild card spots when whoever wins this division is probably going to be 10-6. You know what I mean? 11-5 at the max. So if you think the Eagles are going to win 11, 10 games, that means you think the Cowboys are going to win 9 or 10 games.
You want to know who is a real wild card? Paris Hilton. Now let's get into it.
Is there revelations in this documentary? Am I going to be wowed?
Yes. Childhood trauma that she's never talked about. And she exposes how she's like a different character. She's always presented herself. And I know this as a true Paris Hilton fan. But yeah, it's all been a character. And she's actually very, very smart and an amazing businesswoman. And she's the OG Kim Kardashian. So yeah, I'll fight anyone on this.
You won't get a fight from me. You will not get a fight from me about being the OG Kim Kardashian. It's something I'm very passionate about. But speaking of passion, just to recount quickly, Johnny, your picks were the Patriots, the Ravens, the Chiefs, and the Colts in the AFC, the Eagles, the Vikings, the Saints, and the Seahawks in the NFC, with your wild card as the Bills, Texans, and Steelers. And then your other wild cards is the Cowboys, Bucs, and Cardinals. Out of anything I've just said, do you feel any different after 1 week?
Yeah, I might want to change the Cowboys, take them off the wild card and put in another team. And the Colts did not look very good against a homely Jacksonville team. Yeah, a lot of people in my Survivor League got 1 strike because of them. Not me.
Maybe thinking of the Texans over the Colts?
Yeah, maybe. But I have to see how they look because, you know, the score of that game was not nearly as close. I watched all of that game. The Chiefs kicked their ass like bad.
Yeah.
Survivor League.
Survivor League is you pick one team to win each week. In this particular one, you have 2 strikes and you're out, but you can't pick the same team more than once. So now that I use the Chiefs, I can't pick them for the rest of the season.
I thought you had a fantasy league for the Survivor because I was going to say I literally was on one for the Bachelor.
Yeah, Kenneth loves Survivor.
Oh, I bet there's a fantasy league. I was shocked that there's one for the Bachelor, but it was a blast.
Oh, yeah, there's leagues and such, but I just can't. I can't mix business and pleasure, okay? You know, this is all for pleasure.
Totally.
Before we hit the halftime, Andrew, your picks were the Patriots, the Ravens, the Titans, and the Chiefs in the AFC. You had the Eagles, the Packers, the Saints, and the Seahawks. The NFC, your wild cards was the Cowboys, Bucs, and 49ers, as well as the Texans, Colts, and Raiders. Did you have any thoughts that changed your mind after week 1?
No, I don't read too much into week 1. But so far, you know, looking pretty good on the Patriots there. That some might call that a hot take, you know, Patriots winning the division, but Cam, I believe in Cam, you know, ever since his days back at Auburn, you know, you know, dude's a football player, you know, I don't know. I feel pretty good about my picks.
Feels good. Well, yeah, you're talking about week 1. Leah, how important do you think first impressions are?
I mean, it's always important, but you can always come back.
You can always come back.
Like, think about even if someone messes up the first date. It's like, yeah, it sucks, but they can always do something to, like, impress you. Ooh. So I'm hoping that, like, the Eagles will get me flowers or something next.
Yeah, it depends how badly they screw up
exactly.
on that first date.
Exactly.
Yeah, pretty big screw up.
Yeah. But I'm not losing hope.
Oh, yeah. You know, and like we said, I mean, when the team – okay, so the NFC East or the NFC least and definitely not the NFC beast this year, and potentially the NFC East and –
the NFC feast or famine.
How about the NFC cease and desist?
That's good. That's very good.
My picks just officially were the Patriots, Steelers, and Colts. Patriots, Steelers, Colts, and Chiefs in the AFC. The Cowboys, the Packers, the Saints, and the Seahawks. In the NFC, the Raiders, the Texans, and the Ravens, as well as the Vikings, the Bucs, and the 49ers. What about the Bucs? That was a team that everyone talked about. And then obviously the Saints are a good team who, by the way, Michael Thomas is going to be out for a couple weeks, maybe more. And Tom Brady and all this and that. Johnny, did you have any impressions of that?
I watched most of that game. Maybe I'm wrong, but Tom Brady did not look good. 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, under 300 yards. It just looked like that red Bucs uniform was just heavier on him than the Patriots uniform. Maybe he is showing some that gunslinger age.
We've said this about Tom Brady in the past, even probably 6 years ago, not just because he's so old and then he's sometimes he'll come back, but it could always you never know when it's the actual end. So like Andrew says, more time is needed. Leah, did you have any Tom Brady thoughts?
Didn't watch that game. Don't care if the Eagles aren't playing. Next.
I just meant like a general Tom Brady thought. If you had one, but
I know he went viral recently for an article about whether or not he has sex with Giselle on game day.
What was the answer?
I didn't read it.
Oh.
Again, don't care.
You have to take a quiz.
Probably to pay $1 to the Washington Post or something. I don't know. I didn't read it.
I hate that. I hate that
right?
you read too many articles for free. Shut the fuck up.
Oh, I'm too smart for you.
The fact that I'm reading anything, you should be just blessed.
Hey.
Yeah, pay me.
The subscriptions aren't cheap either. It's like $35. It's like, dude, Netflix is $13, dude.
Right. You'd rather get Netflix.
You got articles.
Also, the fake news, AIR. That's am I right, Kenneth?
Oh, I was like, AIR?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't know that either. Things that I do know, though. So that's it really for my segment. And officially, those are our thoughts right now on the divisions. But just the way that it works is when there's 14 weeks left, at that point, we will lock in our first team that we believe will win their division or whatever. And then if that happens, you get 14 points. And then the next week, we lock in another team, and that's 13 points, and then another team, and that's 12 points, and so on and so forth. Whoever has the most points at the end is a winner of something.
Yeah, spoiler alert, I will be locking in the Chiefs as soon as possible.
Yes, you've already tried to lock in the Chiefs.
Get 17 points.
Get all the points that you can with the Kansas City Chiefs. But for now, let's take a quick break and talk more in a bit.